Hi there, Melissa Lemon here. Thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to do um, just one little quick video about, I'm calling it honorable mentions with anxiety. So OCD is actually on the anxiety spectrum, even though it's classified a little differently, I think, in like the diagnostic and statistical manual. um, but it's considered an anxiety disorder because there's so many overlapping symptoms. And, that can be something that can be separate but also apart from anxiety, that might need some different attention than actual anxiety, if that makes any sense. So, and again, I just want to give a reminder that all these diagnoses, I kind of think we're doing it wrong in the world with a lot of things. In fact, I kept thinking about like the technical word for having more than one mental health disorder at a time is comorbidity. And I was like, what a horrible word. Um, some things in the, like, I don't know, Western medicine psychological world really aren't helping us that much. We have terms like comorbidity. Makes it sound so horrible. So just a reminder, our thoughts, like if we're going to raise our vibrations, we have to have better thoughts. And so I don't believe in like taking on these diagnoses as like an identity, if that makes sense. Rather, it's more, to me, I see it more as like an obstacle to overcome, and I believe they're overcomable. But I just wanted to give honorable mention to a couple of these things that might go along with anxiety sometimes, and one of them is OCD. And I'm not going to talk a lot about that. I've never been diagnosed with that, although I have had and still do have symptoms of that, but I don't know. I see it as always improving rather than getting worse, and that, that's a good thing. I think if something is getting better, maybe spontaneously or on its own, there's no need to like go, even get a diagnosis or to do any treatments necessarily. But if something is getting worse or causing problems or becoming aggravated or becoming unbearable, or making our lives really difficult, that's when we kind of want to seek help. So just a little mention about OCD there. The other one I wanted to mention was paranoia. So paranoia is often, coupled with schizophrenia because they go hand in hand, but schizophrenia is not on the anxiety spectrum. It's completely different. However, people who have intense, severe, prolonged anxiety might also begin to have symptoms of paranoia. Not necessarily schizophrenia, but of just feeling paranoid because there's always this like fear or anxiety that something's going to go wrong, somebody's going to die, or that all these triggers going off. Then that can start to create also the feeling of being paranoid, and so or paranoia feeling. So I just wanted to mention those two things really quickly, just some other things to consider as you are, maybe considering your own mental health or trying to help a loved one who has some of these issues. Sometimes those things can kind of be linked, and just because somebody's having paranoia doesn't mean they're schizophrenic. That is totally different. But when you have a lot of anxiety, sometimes you can be a little paranoid. So, and again, just a reminder that I think it's so important that we don't ever take any diagnosis that we have as a part of our identity, because we're so much more than the struggles that we face in this life. And I believe we came here for a reason, and these obstacles just need to be overcome so that we can fulfill that purpose. And, they might slow us down a little bit, and that's okay, because it's important to learn to slow down, I think, and to take life one day at a time, and to remember that we want to enjoy the journey, and so it's okay to just slow way down. And just also what's coming up in my mind is how so much of this is line upon line, just little by little, and baby steps in learning about these things. So again, I majored in psychology, so I started learning about this stuff, like the abnormal psychology stuff. Abnormal is another horrible word, but when I, like my senior year of high school, or maybe even my junior year of high school, I can't remember. And then, all throughout college, that's where I got the theory. And then when I got into my 30s and kind of had a mental, I don't know what you want to call it, blow up, breakdown, whatever you want to call it, that's kind of when the intense work began and the personal experience began. Even though I've been having personal experiences with anxiety a lot of my life, I didn't really have an awareness of it, and I didn't have words to put to it. I didn't have really an emotional IQ. I dissociated a lot and I numbed out a lot, and so I wasn't really experiencing these things. I was kind of just putting them on the back burner, and I mean, I was experiencing them, but not in a helpful way, really, I guess. And so I kind of had to get to that point where I was ready to deal with it in a helpful way, if that makes sense. So, yeah, so I think that's all I had for today. So again, if you ever have any questions or anything, please reach out. I'd love to try to answer questions or help and support you in your own journey in trying to provide help for a loved one or get some help for yourself. It's so important because life can be so much better. Life is so much better than having to deal with anxiety constantly, and we can learn the skills that we need to cope, and the skills that we need to improve, and the skills that we need to ultimately heal from anything we need to heal from in this life. And that is my belief. And thanks so much again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.